Today we get to help you figure out if you are a good fit for group therapy. Or maybe a better way to say that is if group therapy is a good fit for you and a better fit for you than individual therapy. Hi, my name is Dr. Nate Page. I am a licensed psychologist and I specialize in group therapy. And I'm continually surprised at how little most people know about group therapy. And in fact, how little many mental health practitioners know about group therapy. And one of the big reasons why we created this YouTube channel and the website grouptherapycentral.com is to help educate you about group therapy and provide you accurate information to help you understand what in the heck group therapy is even like and help you determine if group therapy would be a good fit for you. And so today we get to help you figure out if you have some of the characteristics or maybe the presenting concern that you have, if it's a good fit for group and if it's a better fit for group than individual therapy. And there is a lot of research demonstrating that group therapy is equally effective as individual therapy. But of course there is a certain good chunk of people where group therapy is a better fit for them, and a good chunk of people where group therapy would not be a good fit. And so any person that walks into my office for an intake session, I'm evaluating them to see if they would be a good fit for group therapy. And many of my clients that come in are wanting to know themselves if they are a good fit for group therapy. And one of the first things that we will do is maybe help them figure out if group therapy is not a good fit for them. Those are some of the things that might pop up first. And so we'll touch on three big reasons why you might not be a good fit for group therapy. The first one is if, for whatever reason, you would drop out of group maybe prematurely. And this could be for a reason, maybe the presenting concern that you have is brief in nature. And so you would have worked through that within a few weeks or maybe a few months. And so right when other people are really doing their work, you would be done with your work. So you might drop out for that reason. You might drop out because of logistical reasons, if we can foresee that. Maybe you're about to move or you have a job where you travel a lot. So any of those logistical reasons. Or another reason why you might drop out prematurely is if we just look at your relationship history and you have a pattern of doing that for whatever reason. And if it seems like the writing is on the wall that you would drop out of group prematurely, maybe you're used to bailing anytime relationships get intimate or there's conflict in relationships, and so whether it's friends or dating or your family of origin, you have rocky relationships, you're used to dealing with that by bailing, then group might not be a good fit, but it might not be a good fit yet. So that's what we're determining, because for that type of concern, group would be the exact right fit for you. You just might not be ready for it if it seems likely that you're going to drop out early. So that's one of the big reasons why it might not be a good fit. Another reason is if you don't want to do group. Now, that might be a no-duh type of statement, but it's worth saying a few things about that, because that's true for any type of therapy. If it's individual therapy or couples therapy or family therapy, if you don't want to be there, you're probably not going to be able to do much good work. And you see that sometimes in couples therapy where one person is really wanting to be there and the other person isn't, and it's hard to do good quality work in that type of way. Of course, oftentimes people will change as soon as they get into therapy, and they'll be like, oh, this is actually something that I'm wanting, and so now I am wanting to work. So when someone, because oftentimes I'll bring up group and the immediate reaction from someone is, no way, I wouldn't want to do that. So I want to at least talk about group enough in that first meeting together, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, to give them an accurate understanding of what group therapy would be like for them. And oftentimes people are like, oh, okay, I get that now. Yeah, I do want that. I can see that would be a better fit for me. And sometimes people say, oh, I could see that would be a good fit for me, but I'm just not ready, or I don't really want to do that. And if someone doesn't want to do it, it's not worth trying to persuade them or twist their arm or convince them, because it just wouldn't, even if they are a golden referral, they would be great in group based on all the things we talk about. If they're not wanting to do it, they wouldn't do well in group, and they might actually hurt the group. And conversely, you are a good fit for group if you're wanting to do group. That's one of the best predictors of people having success in group, is if you have that desire, you're wanting to do group. So as we were talking today, if you feel that desire growing inside of you, like, oh, this is resonating for me, I think group therapy might be a good fit for me. I might be really scared about group still, but I can tell that would be a good fit for me, then that would be a good sign that you're a good fit for a group. The last thing that's worth mentioning of why you might not be a good fit is simply if you're not a good fit for a particular group at a particular time, and that could be for a number of different reasons. So when clients are meeting with me, I'm thinking if they are a good fit for my groups or my colleagues' groups that I know about. And so you might not be a good fit for a number of different reasons, but that doesn't mean that you're not a good fit for group therapy in general. It just means you're not a good fit for my group. And that could be something as simple as demographics. A lot of times, this has happened a number of times, there's 5 men that are ready to start a group and 1 woman, and we're all locked and loaded and ready to go. But I'm not quite ready to start the group because it would be nice to have another 1 or 2 people that identify as a woman for that group. So if you show up and you're a man, I'm probably going to say, no, this isn't a good fit for you at this time. Let's wait for the next group to start. You'll be first on the list for that. Or let me refer you to one of my colleagues' groups that are getting ready to start. But if you're a woman, of course, or you identify as a woman, then you would be a good fit. So it might be something as simple as that. And that's why it's really important to have pre-group meetings with the therapist where they're doing some of that assessment work and you're trying to figure out if there's a good therapeutic alliance, if it seems like a good fit based on the composition of the group and a number of different things. So that's hard to talk about in a general type of way. If you were sitting here with me one-on-one, we of course would be able to have a much better conversation about your fit for any of the groups that I'm preparing to run. Well, let's jump into, and this is, I think, what most people that are coming to this and watching this video are interested in. What are some of the reasons why you might be a good fit for a group? And I think the first one that's important to talk about is if in your story, your concern, your personality, there is a significant element of shame. And shame, it's that sense that, oh, I don't matter, or I don't matter enough, or I'm not good enough, or maybe I don't belong. And this is something that all humans experience, but a large chunk of us, we really get stuck in that shame. There's actually some estimates I was reading the other day that about 65% of the adult population in the United States, and this is from a book, The Science of Shame. I'm forgetting the author's name, but I'll include that in the links below. But his best guess is about 65% of the adult population. Shame is something that we're dealing with daily, and we're making decisions on a day-to-day basis with that shame that's going on inside of us. And it's important to explain what shame is, because some people might not get what I'm meaning. And a nice way to talk about shame is to contrast it to guilt. And guilt and shame are similar in some ways, but quite different. Guilt is the experience of, I did something wrong, whereas shame is the experience of, I am wrong. So guilt would be, I failed the test. Shame is, I'm a failure. Guilt would be, I said something dumb, I said something stupid. Shame is, I am dumb, I am stupid. And another difference that's important to point out is with guilt, there's usually that desire, that motivation that I want to confess this. I want to make it known. I want to repair the damage in the relationship or repair whatever damage has been done. With shame, the motivation oftentimes is I want to hide. I want to cover it up. I want to conceal it, keep it a secret. I don't want anyone to know about it. Because if people know about it, then they'll know that I am not good, that I'm bad, that I don't belong, that I don't matter. And so when there is that sense of shame, it's just so highly correlated to so many mental health concerns. Depression, in fact, it's one of the diagnostic criteria of depression is that excessive shame. Of course, a lot of the anxiety concerns, shame is very central to that. Eating disorders, shame is a very, very central piece to that. A lot of addiction, shame is core to what's going on there. Perfectionism. And so shame is oftentimes at least very central, if not at the core of a lot of the mental health concerns that people come into my office wanting to work on. And group can be a wonderful place to work on that, especially when there's some interpersonal components to that shame. Because maybe I want to hide and cover things up because I assume that if people know about that, they'll perceive me as a burden, or they'll perceive me as weird. They might judge me or criticize me or think that I don't belong. But to be in group and have the opposite experience, which is just what happens in group, where people start to get to know me and know the real me, and they like me even more. They accept me even more. There's more of the experience of, oh, me too. Oh, you struggle with that? Oh, yeah. Well, welcome to the club. And there isn't that judgment or that criticism or that experience of feeling like I don't fit in or I don't belong. And one of the biggest reasons that group therapy can be helpful is that sense that, oh, I'm not alone, that other people are going through the same thing, the sense that people really see me and see the real me and love the snot out of me no matter what. And for a lot of people, that in and of itself is the therapy. And the depression or the anxiety can alleviate for a number of people, where this is core enough for them, that having a number of corrective experiences like that over and over in group, of letting people really see me, maybe expecting the judgment or the shame, but instead having that acceptance, that love, that empathy, that compassion, that validation, and doing that over and over again, then I'm better able to manage my shame. And my feelings of self-worth go up, and I feel that strong sense of belonging and mattering in the group, but I can extrapolate that now to my other relationships, including my relationship with myself. So shame is one of the biggest reasons why people might be a good fit for group. A few other things to touch on. If there is some significant interpersonal component to your concern, a big one could be social anxiety. Social anxiety, hands down, group therapy is probably the best fit for that. Of course, some people might not be ready for group yet with social anxiety. If the social anxiety is so crippling that they couldn't yet actually be in group and engage in the way that they would want, we might say, okay, let's do individual therapy for a while, but group is the goal, that eventually we'll get there, because group is the ideal treatment for social anxiety. But other type of interpersonal concerns that could be playing out, or a central piece to the mental health concern. For example, if maybe assertiveness, I lack assertiveness and I'm wanting to practice that more because in my life my needs just get missed. Maybe I'm really attuned to other people's needs. I'm very good at meeting their needs, but I don't let people see my needs very well. And so then in my dating relationships or friendship relationships, or with my family of origin growing up, or my current family, or in my job with my boss and my colleagues, people don't really know what I need, and I get missed over and over again. And that's really painful, to have my needs go unmet. And so in group, I get to, of course, be there for other people, like maybe I'm naturally talented at, but I also get to practice letting other people be there for me, and letting other people see my needs and take care of those needs, whether it might be, I just need someone to really care about me right now, or empathize with me, or someone to really get angry on my behalf for this thing that happened to me. So assertiveness is a big one. If we withdraw, oftentimes people withdraw and maybe close down, and so being able to practice reaching back out and reconnecting with people. If I have trouble with intimacy, that maybe I desperately want it, I want to connect with people, I want to feel that strong sense of caring, and like we can have a good emotionally rich connection, but I'm also really scared of that. And so I'm desperately craving that type of connection, but I'm also so scared of it, and so I'm never getting that. So being able to practice that in group and practice having those strong emotionally intimate connections can be world-changing for a number of people. So we're just touching on the surface. This is a hard thing to do for a broad audience, but if you can identify some of the ways that your concern has some significant interpersonal components, group therapy is probably a really good fit for you, especially the type of groups that I do, that many people do, that are interpersonally focused. And a lot of what we're doing is processing our relationships and developing our relationships from the ground up and working through issues that do come up in our relationships. Another big one I'll just quickly throw out, hopefully I'm not going on too long, hopefully this is, at least for a number of you, hitting the spot. Conflict. Conflict is something that is inevitable in any relationship, whether it's parent, child, or sibling, or friends, or dating, or boss and colleagues. And so an important thing in group is to be able to get better at doing conflict. And doing conflict in a way that I don't just avoid it, because some people that's how they cope, is they avoid conflict at all costs, but being able to engage in it in a way that is helpful in both parties. You're able to work through things, or all parties, and you come out the other end of the conflict feeling stronger, feeling more unity, more understanding and compassion, and people getting their needs met in that way. And that can be very powerful for people to learn how to do conflict better. So that's a big thing, the interpersonal components. We talked about shame earlier, interpersonal components. The last one that I'll throw out is group therapy can be very helpful for emotional management. And this could be for people on the side of the spectrum that maybe feel emotions very intensely. The emotions come quickly and easily, maybe connect with tears very easily and sometimes more than you would want to. And you need some help being able to contain those emotions more, be able to self-soothe more, and be able to better navigate those. And very helpful for people on the other end of the spectrum too, that are maybe very disconnected from their emotions, maybe very emotionally avoidant, and the emotions are so contained, so shoved down, bottled up, that of course that creates a number of problems that might come out in addictions or eating concerns or depression or anxiety. And so group therapy can be very helpful in you being able to better access those feelings and connect with them and communicate them. And so it's actually nice when there's people on both ends of the spectrum in group, because there's so much mutual learning that goes on when I see how other people manage their emotions. And I have that learning, and people learn from me with how I do it. Even if I'm very emotionally constrictive, that can be very helpful for someone that needs to contain their emotions more. Or if I really am quite volatile in my emotions, that can be super helpful for someone who's very constrictive and needs to learn how to open up things and let the emotions out more. So those are the three big things that we're touching on. We're just scratching the surface. There could be a whole other number of reasons, but if shame is a piece of your story, if there are those interpersonal components, and if emotional management is something that you're wanting to work on. If this was resonating for you, and it seems like group therapy would be a good fit for you, I'd encourage you to reach out to someone to get connected to a therapy group. We do have a video that's how you can find group therapy near you. You're welcome to watch that. You can reach out to us at grouptherapycentral.com. We do offer free 15-minute phone consultations with people to help you figure out if group is a good fit for you, and then point you in the right direction to find some good quality group therapy in your area. And then, of course, for a number of people, that's not an option if you live in a rural area or something like that. And so we can point you to some good online therapy group options. And we'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. I'd encourage you to put in any comments, any questions that you have, any corrections, things that I said that were not accurate, and then for sure anything that I didn't get to, because like I said, we're just scratching the surface. So if you could put into the comment section other reasons why group therapy might be a better fit for you than individual therapy, we'd love that. If you do have questions for me, you can put those in the comment section, but it might be a better fit to go over to grouptherapycentral.com and shoot me an email, because I can keep that more confidential and respond to you in that way. So if there are things that you're not wanting to have out for the public to know, then I would encourage you to not put those in the comment section. Thanks so much. I am happy to be your friend and be your advocate. We definitely can't have a therapy relationship in the comment section or email or other things like that, but more than happy to be your friend and advocate to help you get connected to good services for you. Thanks so much. Hope you have a wonderful day, and may all your group therapy dreams come true.